What's going on, ladies and gents? Jake, aka Countdown Ended, coming to you live on a Wednesday, bringing you into somewhere Wrestlemania 41 preview and prediction style. Holy cow, this Wrestlemania card, not at all what we thought it was going to be. I am joined once again by my very special friend and dear guest, Liz. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, no problem.
Great to have you here. You obviously saw the start, the origin, the first hints at heel Cena without us even realizing. We even made note of him counting weird. You know, he did the 1, 2, and then 3. But no one assumed. We just couldn't see what they were planning.
That's the funny thing, because everybody in our area were like, he comes out there, he throws up 3 fingers, and we're all like going, we're all looking at each other like, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah. And see, the thing that I noticed rewatching fan cams and different angles the other day, WWE, their cinematography and camera work is top notch, and it's only gotten better. And I do agree with like something like Cornette said with, I don't want to say previous Bucktooth Beavers were Bush League, but we didn't have 100 camera cuts. They were prepared. They had obviously production meetings because they captured Cena's face go from happy elation to not even just a clean slate, then to stoic, then malice and evil. He portrayed such emotion on his face. That was one of his best acting moments yet. The Rock, so visceral with the throat slit, digging it in.
If you notice when he did that, he kept holding up. He had like 2 fingers.
Yes.
So I don't know what that means anything, but you know.
Here's the little bit of controversy though. Think people on the actual live broadcast saw him go 1, 2, but they missed. So when he does the 3, he goes like go forward, like go on and attack him. So I don't think it was a necessarily just 2, because we missed the go get him kind of a thing with the way the angle was. So I did think he counted a 3 again, but he did hold on 2. And so obviously the first was the noting, the second was the happening, the third is going to be what? Taking the title. I mean, the build to this is unprecedented. People were kind of
know what it means. Everybody thinks there's going to be another person involved. So who knows?
I really don't know. I don't even know if they need it. I mean, they're being smart in some of the ways that they used to have an issue with, as where like right now Jey Uso is going to be busy with A-Town Down for a little bit. They get other people back involved into the fray, not just for something to do for them, but to go ahead and have people have a reason to not just focus on that one event match. Because you know, how many times can you promote this match is happening, and then what? They do a promo, they scrap, they have the pull apart brawl, maybe one more promo, but really how much more can we get? This is perfect. Gunther got a great showcase. You made Otis look great. A solid match. Great moment for the champion. Jay looks like a conquering hero coming out to save him, and then getting attacked by the heels. He's got a coming up match. He gets his revenge. All of it, it's logical. It makes sense.
Yep.
And one of the greatest things about the Attitude Era was multiple stories going on at the same time. Like you had Austin and McMahon, but meanwhile, you know, it was leading to corporate Rock. It was leading to Mick Foley becoming like this babyface character. You had, The Undertaker eventually doing the corporate ministry, and then he and Big Show teaming up. Like everybody had something to do, and they were interchangeable. And for a long time, they refused to turn Cena heel for one specific reason. Because Vince said there was no one to replace John. There was no top babyface. There was no top merch seller. Roman Reigns, he tried to be the guy. You know, Vince pushed and pushed the best they could. They did. They tried. And we just didn't accept. And it wasn't meant to be. We don't want Roman to be John Cena. And that was the problem. They were trying to make him be John Cena, out there smiling and saying the cheesy lines and being goofy and being force-fed dog food. These were not the things that anybody wanted from the big dog. We wanted the tribal chief. And that's just it. John has been the same character for 20 plus years, essentially. Yes, Thugonomics into, but I'm saying He's been that face, that infallible, the hustle, loyalty, respect. I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to earn it above all else. I'm not going to ride on my laurels. I'm going to go ahead and he's done heel things in the past to self-service himself. But it was always like for the broader picture. Like, I have to be champion so the company succeeds, because when I'm on top, everybody eats, was his attitude. And it wasn't a bad attitude to have, because Vince gave him that mindset, but there was nobody else. And it just goes to show that your favorite, one of your favorites, Cody Rhodes, he has not only encouraged and allowed The Rock to turn heel in the best way possible, but also John Cena, because he is such a great baby face. It's absolutely stellar what we've seen from him. And I want to show you this really quick. I saw this earlier. I'm going to pull it up on stream. I hope the audio is okay. I forgot to preview it before, so a little impromptu. But you think about all of the friends Cody's had and how he's managed to still be a face. People want Homelander Cody. I don't want him to turn. I want face Cody that just doesn't trust anyone. Because take a look at this.
Yeah. Everybody wants the Homelander. I was like, no, I don't want that.
Not yet, and especially because Cena just turned. I am excited.
Exactly. You can't have Cody go heel. It's like, no, it's not going to work like that.
No, this is a generational heel turn. Whether or not it's bigger than Hogan, I think Hogan, like I said, this is bigger in terms of like impact for the fans. Hogan was a bigger impact on the business, because it made heels cool, because everyone booed the heels up until that point, typically, for the most part. And it made WWE respond by creating brash, heel, cool characters, and the Attitude Era was born in competition, and 80 week, blah blah blah, history. So here, let me pull this up really quick.
No, there's Brock.
It's just Cody's had some.
I tell you one thing Cena needs to do. He needs to shave his head.
He does need to shave his head, and I think that might have been the plan post Matchbox movie. So there was a little bit of a rumor being spurt that, hey, he didn't do it yet because after filming, but it'll be a good, like a true, maybe like a short buzz cut or something if he doesn't go shave at all.
Some kind of buzz cut or something, because.
But I guess we're getting new music, new merch, everything is going to be new with Cena. And the thing is, this is going to be popular. Shout out to people. We got Jay Swiss, Triple M, Trek, obviously Cody, Andrews is in the chat. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on a Wednesday. Liz and I are going to go ahead and make it our predictions, but I don't know what I want. The more I think about Punk getting involved in this match and seeing, we've got John Cena and Cody Rhodes, I kind of just want to keep it one-on-one in a way. And because the thing is, I want to see Punk get one of the main events, but that could happen still. It very, very, very possibly could be.
He's still got that favor to cash in.
He does. And on top of that, they're giving us him and Seth again. I have Cody on the brain. They're giving us him and Seth in a steel cage next week from Madison Square Garden. Cody is going to be there in person, and our friend who I spoke to yesterday on the channel about Raw and some of the news and previews. Make sure you guys check that out. But MSG, it's going to be huge. Headline cage match, CM Punk, Seth Rollins. Punk won the last match. I'm almost curious here if like Roman comes out, tries to screw Rollins and costs Punk, and that leads to the triple threat between these three, if that is the rumored match. I mean, we've heard that for a while now, early on, that it was going to be CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. That could be it. I kind of more like to think of, hey, The Rock has always been a thorn in Punk's side. Punk is just completely, enamored with hating everyone. He came out on Raw and was like, who do I have a problem with?
He laid into everybody.
Exactly. What do you say? Give me a name. Give me a name. They said The Rock.
Yeah, that's like the final boss, The Rock.
Great one to call out and start with. You know, and the bald frauds.
The
That he
bald
called.
frauds. He called both him and Cena the bald frauds, and I'm like, well, Cena's technically he's almost bald.
He's the balding and bald fraud. But yeah, these
Yeah.
two, you know, and your fake goosebumps emotion and all. He just. And you can tell that he wasn't planning to say anything. He just did it on the fly.
Match with Punk and Cody against Rock and Cena.
So that is another rumored match, and that is just a very big match that you can have here. I mean,
but the thing is, it's going to be just like last year when you had the Seth and Cody and Roman and Rock thing. So,
yeah,
you know.
So it could be a repeat, but that wouldn't be the worst thing because you see the final boss, John Cena. Of course, they want a main event essentially both nights of Mania. That's what's best for business, and so I could see that happening. But then Jey Uso doesn't get his main event, but they're pretty on the nose about the Rumble. Not always, you know, they didn't do it for the women's and the men's. Like, hey, you know, whoever wins, you know, sometimes you get the main event, but it's not always guaranteed. We'll see what happens and what comes of it, but
as long as we don't get another Bloodline Rules.
I mean, it could be. It could be. They're adding it to 2K25 as a match, which is kind of a crazy match. You have everybody run in to fight for both sides.
I know. You know.
So they have a bunch of
a
bunch of crazy AI characters coming through. I think that's a ton of fun, and I'm just appreciative of the innovation and them able to add things like that. So if they want to do another Bloodline Rules
matches.
I could see it working personally because they want to advertise it for the new game. They want people to keep talking about it. It's a match type that's particular to The Rock, and it could be fun. You know, we liked seeing Cody, Cody and you know, we could see Cody and Punk team up, and that would be a lot of fun. That would be great. But what if we see Roman and Punk team up? You know, taking
Roman
on
and Cody.
The Rock. It could be Roman and Cody. You know, that's the thing here. There are so many interchangeable possibilities, as I was mentioning before.
Shows up.
Yeah, exactly. With the Attitude Era, we had everyone had something to do. Everybody had a story, and things were interchangeable. So when you had somebody like Triple H challenge for the title, it didn't feel out of left field. It wasn't. It's like, hey, he's been winning. He's been doing this. Now he's the game. Of course. I'm curious to see what happens going forward, you know, with the Mania build now more than ever with the heel turn. But I was also hooked before then. They had things that were getting me intrigued already. And I know a lot of people are against some of the matches at hand, and I don't necessarily disagree for some of the reasons. But I want to get to one in particular. We've got Charlotte versus the women's champion on the SmackDown side of things, Tiffany Stratton. It's been Tiffy time. I think this is obviously it's a given, but I don't think it's going to change. I don't think anyone else gets added. I think it's just these two, and this is the match. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be Tiffany and Charlotte.
Who do you think
wins? But the thing is, I don't want Charlotte to win.
I think there are going to be quite a few title changes at Mania, possibly, but originally, it feels like, okay, this is a foregone conclusion. Charlotte comes back, she wins. With how many times we've seen that happen in rotation, we kind of made a joke and a meme about it. But, you know, she comes back, she cuts a face promo and gets booed and acts, you know, still like a heel, even though she's supposed to be a face. She wins the title, she gets injured, leaves, and rinse and repeat. So I know people aren't exactly enamored with her character, but if they keep pushing Tiffany as the face, because she didn't really have a clean turn. Tiffany just cashed in on Nia, which is not exactly a face thing to do in the first place. She turned on her friend, so that's betrayal, and she turned on a heel, but you could say she didn't really make quite a full face turn. And I mean, I think this is going to be a good match. It will be. If gun to my head, I'm going to say Tiffany retains here just to kind of keep building things, and we'll get a rematch going forward from these two at the next show.
Yeah, I like to see Tiffany keep the belt because I'm like, man, I'm not a Charlotte. I was like, come on, Charlotte, you don't need another title.
Absolutely. I mean, next match, that we didn't know we were getting is Bianca versus Io.
Yeah,
And,
my girl EO.
you know, Verizon should be turning my phone back on any point in time now, and I can go ahead and reply to people. But yeah, Io's the one that should probably have won the chamber. She should have been in it. It would have made more sense for her to be the one challenging Rhea and getting the match we got on Raw, I thought. But setting it up where now she's the champion going up against Bianca, who won the chamber. There's the side wild card of Jade there, which we'll get to eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm absolutely convinced it's going to be just these two. I keep thinking it's going to end up in a four-way. I'm probably wrong, but my prediction as of now, we're going to have Bianca, Io, Rhea, and then they're going to add Jade because Jade's going to go after Bianca. She injured Naomi. Naomi has a studded and dolled up neck brace on for the Queen of the Ring movie premiere, so that was funny. She kind of pulled Tony Khan and kept the kayfabe alive, so she had her bedazzled neck brace on. So she's injured at this point in time, so they don't know if her Mania appearance is set in stone or not. So I think that out of all these competitors, we would end up seeing a fatal four-way. Rhea has to get back involved somehow. She was betrayed by Bianca cheering for Io, that she thought she was her friend and on her side, and she wanted to face me at Mania. No, and the promo she cut afterwards backstage needs to be showcased on Raw. It was amazing. One of the best she cut in a long time, and talking about how she's isolated from everyone now, but it's all her fault. It's her actions that caused this. Her trying to get revenge on Liv led to Io not making it in the chamber, and that led to the title match that she lost. She's never beaten Io, so there's also intrigue there, certainly.
Well, to be honest, Io should have won the Rumble, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, Io, Roxanne. I mean, there's a few people that probably could have absolutely
benefited. But no, they had to give it to Charlotte because Charlotte came back, so Charlotte has to win the Rumble, and I'm just like, here we go again.
Nepotism queen at its finest. So yeah, I a lot of people seem online to think we're going to get Jade and Naomi at Mania, but I think it's going to be one of those where Naomi got attacked, but Naomi didn't actually do it. It was Bianca, and she either framed or...
That's what I think it was.
Yeah, I think Bianca's going to be sought out to be the mastermind. Naomi's going to come back and be like, I don't know why you attacked me. I didn't do it. I wasn't there, kind of thing. Well, I saw your hair, and she wore a wig or something. You know what I mean? Something like that is coming. I feel like we're going to get Bianca being like, and then Jade will try and kill her, and you have Io always beating Rhea. I think it's just a easy match to make a fatal four-way here. There's so many possible triple threat scenarios already. I'm not a fan of triple threats anyways. Make it a fatal four-way, title on the line. Have a great time. Michael, what's going on? Trek in the chat. Same with Terrell. Thank you, guys. He's going to WrestleMania 41. Lucky you. Liz and I were talking about that before. Just spending upwards of $700 minimum for a, outer bowl ticket is insane. That guy that's online, BDE there, who covers like the 2K games and whatnot, I saw that he spent $20,000 on his Royal Rumble ticket.
That's insane.
To sit in the front. $20,000.
That's a little insane. I'm like, I saw that video and I was like going, I'm just kind of like going, yeah, okay, sure, yeah.
I saw it posted on the subreddit and I was just blown away. I was like, wow, that is legitimate. So if you spent that much, that's insane.
Apparently he went to the chamber. Him and all his crew went to the chamber as well.
Well, I saw one small Afro Games, funny enough. There was a point in time where I had more subs than he did. He was so small, just sending in videos to the channels and whatnot. He was there at SummerSlam when they introduced that terrible red fruit, by the foot looking belt. And he had that viral clip. What is that thing? But it's awesome to see Jaren do so great for himself and make a name for himself and get in with 2K. He got to go to the 2K premiere.
When they introduced that King of the Ring or that big title they had that Cody won it.
Yeah,
the Saudi Arabia thing.
The King and Queen, the Crown Jewel, however
the Crown Jewel Championship.
Absolutely, that was awesome. So. Yeah, I think this is going to be a fatal four-way. What do you think? Is it just going to be Bianca and Io, or do they end up adding more people and participants?
They're probably gonna add somebody else to it because I was thinking, I was like, well, you could have Rhea versus Io versus Bianca, and then you got Jade over here like, hmm. So I would say you'd
Exactly.
probably do a fatal. You could do a fatal four way for that. Yeah, totally on that one.
It makes sense. I mean, it really does. Another one that we've got is Gunther and Jay.
Yeet.
I like Jay. I like him in the ring. I think he has a lot to offer. The problem is that the fans kind of get quiet when the entrance is over. I want to see him be able to capture people a little bit more. He's really
His
building
little
up his
promo he
character.
did on Raw the other night
It was
was pretty
good.
good.
It was damn good. He's getting there. He's getting better. He's becoming more, I don't want to say believable, but not even relatable. Just to the point where you can understand his vision of things. You know, I want him to be bigger than the yeet catchphrase, and it seems like he's catching on, not so much yeet.
He's getting there.
He is. So give the kid a chance. I'm not sure that he goes ahead and wins, though. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't
I'm
know.
still thinking Gunther. How could they not give it to him here? The biggest celebration ever. Like, but there's something in it where I
Gunther's so
see
boring.
Gunther is a great heel for what he does, and he's great at being boring because he wants to go ahead and be impressive only when it absolutely calls for it, because he's the ring general. He doesn't need to overexert himself, and he's going to outdo you at every step. And if you have him turn it up, then he'll keep turning it up. But if he doesn't need to put on a massive presentation, he's not going to. It's kind of a great bit of psychology from him, and we keep hearing. We had Goldberg slip in interview. He confirmed that I am having one match. It's going to be my last match. It'll be my
Go,
retirement match, and it's coming this summer.
go away,
He
Goldberg.
said nothing's guaranteed about who or what, but I want it to be for a title. And that's the
Oh God.
dangerous part here. So I could see him winning the title and retiring it. Or how could you have him lose in his last match? You could, but I doubt it. But seeing him do what he did to Kevin Owens, to Gunther, would be that would be a very angry reaction online. So I'm not sure that, what we get here. I think he'll end up winning more than likely. I can't see them not giving him that huge celebration at Mania. All those people going nuts. You want one super feel good moment. That's going to be it. Especially what happens with Cody later on. I think everybody wants one really feel good moment.
No, I tell you what, I don't want. I don't want Cena beating Cody.
Yeah. And there's a statement to be made if that happens too, because Cody's great in the chase, and what more than Cena's last year than Cody having to fight and claw his way to get back
I
to
don't want to
face
see that
Cena.
again. I already saw that. No, let
We
Cena
saw
fight
him,
and claw
but
his way.
I don't know. We got a few visits planned for Cena, of course. That's been mentioned. So Cena has been advertised for the May 30th, June 13th, and June 20th SmackDown shows. First one in Knoxville, your neck of the woods. Hopefully you're able to go.
That's about an hour or so up the road from where I live, right where I
Yeah,
live, and I'm just like, gee, do I go?
you have
Possibly, if
to.
I can get
Heel
somebody to go
Cena.
with me.
You got to go. Wish it was closer. And then Lexington, Kentucky, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. So,
Well, Lexington, Kentucky is a little far. That's probably about a 4 or 5 hour drive, so that's not going to work. So
yeah, exactly. Well, if it isn't the inevitable, John Cena shows up. So, again, we'll come back to that. But,
yeah,
yeah, Gunther, Jay, you think Jay wins? Yes?
that's who I like to see win.
I'd like to see it happen. I just don't know that I'm sold yet. As far as the predictions go, I'm going to say Jay wins. We are going to come back to this, of course, and see how right and wrong we are, how many matches
Oh
we got,
yeah, totally.
how close we were to predictions. So we've got a few. I'm writing them down as we go. But another one people are talking about, Lyra Valkyria. She's currently the women's champ for the mid-card
Oh,
title, IC
Lyra.
title. The proposed match is to have a rematch of Becky Lynch and her. I think that's a great way to bring Becky back. They're currently not really doing anything with Lyra as far as programs go. She's just kind of defending the title occasionally against
Well,
various challengers.
yeah, I forgot all about Becky.
I mean, you could do it where you have both the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile when Chad Gable returns with his box, his special secret box.
Whatever's in the box.
Whatever's in the box when he goes ahead and returns finally. What do we get? What do we see? Him do? Does he have a way to conquer? Does he have something in mind? It's interesting. I am
Well,
curious
I
to
like
see
you
what's
can
in this
always
box
do. Let's
here.
see.
So
Well, you got Bailey who's going to end up doing something.
I think Bailey and Roxanne is what I was going to get to next is going to happen because they've been attacking each other endlessly. You got the
Well,
tag match on
yep.
NXT.
I actually had that written down as one of my prediction matches was Bailey versus Roxanne.
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen. So I don't know who else would be a good opponent for Lyra going through the roster here.
I mean,
Obviously,
originally I had Lyra and Ivy, but no, we already did that. So okay.
I know they already did it. The only thing I could see, as I was saying, if they somehow whatever the dark arts that Chad brings back with him in this ominous box, we'll see. And again, maybe it's something powerful and it could be a joke, but there's something to it here, and I'm curious, I'm intrigued. So what if they end up on both sides? We get the War Raiders being challenged by the one side, and then you've got Ivy on the other side going ahead, and I could see maybe both of them challenging for titles and walking away with all the gold with Chad behind them.
Yeah.
Maybe Chad goes after the IC title too.
Thing. I was writing down matches that could possibly happen. I was like, well, let's see. We got the Raw, we got the tag titles, we got the Creeds and the War Raiders. Let's do that match at Mania. Cool.
And then they did that the other night. They gave it to us, and the War Raiders retained. But it seems like I think we might get a repeat with that. Honestly, when I go back and forth, I see the War Raiders and Creed brothers.
The thing is, they already had two matches against each other. The first match was one in Nashville when I was there, and they got the Creed brothers just used the belts and got disqualified.
Yep.
And then they just had the match left
where they lost. So now I think there'll be one more. They'll earn the shot because of whatever the dark art lucha thing is, and that could lead to something. I think there's going to be a story here. So I think they're going to get their rematch for the tag titles, and I also think that if it's not Becky returning, because I don't know where she'll fit in against Lyra, maybe they save her for the Raw after Mania. I'm going to go ahead and predict then Lyra takes on Ivy in a rematch for the IC title, so that takes care of the tag and IC titles. What's your prediction there?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I had originally typed up on my notes here. So I had Lyra versus Ivy, and then the Creeds versus the War Raiders.
I still have that there because you figure you've got them included, and then having them, you got Bianca being.
Then I have Bailey. Then I had Bailey versus Roxanne, since they've been doing their thing. Yep. So
that's included on there, and eventually, we have Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. I think that they're going to be taking on each other because originally I really wanted to see the tag titles defended on Mania. I think that would be a great showcase for them to have.
There was a thing going around. I saw something going around about tag titles, but that was before Io won the title. So
yeah. So the other thing is that they're not unifying the titles, I guess, on NXT because they're having Julia and Stephanie face off. When they said unified, I guess what they meant is that one champion will be, the unified champion because they'll have both titles.
They're not titles,
but they're not unifying the belts. But I guess what they're going to do is while one champion has both, they're going to go ahead and rely more on the tag titles from what the rumor was saying. And I'll talk more about that tonight after the Evolve debut review tonight with Spaz. We'll be live here for that, and we'll be going over his elimination chambers.
I won't be able to catch that. I'll be doing the thing on Twitch called.
You'll be live yourself, and people can go ahead and follow you on Twitter and check out your Twitch in the description box down below, guys. Make sure you follow her over there, please.
Yeah, I'll be doing that Twitch stream thing tonight. So I'll be
You'll be over there
grinding
through the game
later, probably tomorrow.
But I think it's going to be stand and deliver. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to see over that way. Oi, oi, oi. We're going to get Sol, Ruka, and Zarya, who keep racking up great wins because they beat the women's U.S. champ Chelsea Green and Piper Niven last night in an awesome
Yeah, they
opening
did.
match on NXT. Chelsea bleeding from the mouth. That was a hell of a match, though. Really great.
That was a
And they
great match.
pinned the
Yeah,
U.S.
and
champ too. So
Sol Ruka pinned the U.S. champion.
I know, big, notable win for them, and especially her. I thought that was a great match, and I can see those two challenging Raquel and Liv at Stand and Deliver. Oi, oi, oi. We get that there and then. And at Mania, instead, we're going to go ahead and we're going to see, I think, Bliss and Liv. I
mean,
think that's definitely going to happen.
You gotta do something. You gotta do that because Liv eliminated her off at the chamber. So
yeah, because Lyra originally the other day, Raquel said she wanted to go for the women's IC title. So I mean, if we don't end up having it be Ivy Nile, it could be Raquel, and that would make sense if she's having a match against Lyra. So Lyra and Raquel, that's why she's busy. So when Bliss takes on Liv, it's 1-on-1 and fair. That could be the case. But I think that's definitely the match we're going to get. I think Bliss will win.
Yeah.
I also think that at Mania is when we'll see the return of the Wyatt Six, because apparently Bo Dallas has been injured this whole time. That's why he's been away.
Bo Dallas has been been cleared.
So I think Mania will see them return. That would be awesome.
Yeah, apparently he's been cleared to compete again. So
yeah, if we don't get this Logan AJ match, originally I had heard it as it's being a New Day and Logan Paul versus the LWO type situation.
Interesting.
That would not be terrible. I could see them doing that as like a big showcase. But now I think it might be where we get New Day +1, whoever they decide at that point, because you've got people defending him, Logan defending him, but still, we'll see who else joins that line. Maybe versus like Penta, Ray, and Ray Phoenix. Rey Mysterio and Ray Phoenix making his Mania debut. That could be something.
Because the thing is, here's what I had. I had AJ going against Braun for the IC title. So.
Yeah, originally I thought that would be great too, but it looks like it's going to be Braun and Finn Balor. They could do that before Mania, and there could be some type of open challenge or some title.
I had a multi-person IC title match planned. I got down Braun, AJ, and Sheamus and Finn.
Yeah, a lot of people have a multi-man match happening, so I think we'll likely get Finn Balor and Braun Breaker before, and that might get broken up by a bunch of people that want the IC belt or something like that, and that could lead to, because everybody wants to see Sheamus win at Mania finally, right? Isn't that what we all want to walk away with? He's earned it.
I want to see it.
Sheamus was kind of like a nothing character for quite some time, and then he got into the bar after the League of Nations and bar stuff. I want
to see Penta go for it, but now you got Ray Phoenix who might be coming in, so I don't know where that goes. So.
And Sheamus just he kind of like both reinvigorated and reinvented his career with this banger after banger thing, where he started having these amazing solo matches, and then with obviously his tag crew and Ridge and Butch, Pete Dunne, they had some amazing matches together there, and then he's just been having these stellar 5-star banger classics, and he's really put on some incredible body of work. Him and Edge, when Edge had his go away match in Toronto.
Oh yeah.
That was an amazing main event. Like Sheamus, we wouldn't think of him to be like, the guy to guarantee to put on an incredible match, but he definitely earned that right. He's in the best shape of his life right now. He came back recently with the Burger After Burger line. Now he looks like Christ, total stud. Talk about fully reinventing yourself. So I would love to go ahead and have a multi-man match as well. I think it's going to be Finn Balor. I think it's going to be Sheamus. Maybe Dom's involved as well in that. Yeah. He wants the title, throw his name in. I think that's going to involve a few people, but I think that's what they're going to do again, because usually the IC title...
Pat calls Dom the trash can or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and usually the IC title is a multi-man match in some way, shape, or form. If not a ladder match, I think the SmackDown tag match side of things will probably be a ladder match, but we'll see.
That needs to be the SmackDown tag team titles. That needs to be a ladder match.
So I think that's what we're going to get over there as well. I think we're going to get the Street Profits. I think we're going to get everybody that's been involved. Pretty Deadly, Los Garza.
That's pretty much all the tag teams they have on SmackDown.
Motor City Machine Guns. Yeah. And interesting enough, Stephanie Van Cour, a little fact about her, she actually got offered to start on the main roster or in NXT. She can go wherever she wanted. And she chose NXT to start with Julia and Jordan and all that. So
That's cool.
Cora Jade's doing okay. She just got rocked. She thought she had a bit of like a stinger, I guess, in the moment, but she's fine. Weird way they called off the match in the commercial break, the picture-in-picture.
Yeah, I
But
saw that. I was kind of like, well, first of all, I had to figure out that I was like, what did she get? Where did she get hurt, or how did she get hurt? Or
because they threw up the X, and then it was just like that was it. I guess she just thought she had a bit of a concussion type moment, but she's doing great. So that's good. Not her knees. Nothing to worry about there. I'm glad we agree about the SmackDown tag team side of things. Now,
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I called that because because this past week on SmackDown, they all came out and started attacking each other. I was like, here, simple, do a ladder match at Mania. Settle it.
It seems like that's going to be where they go. I could even see them. Christ, I mean, you want to add a dream scenario. The Hardys have been back. They have the upcoming match at Roadblock next week at MSG.
You can put the Hardys in with the Raw tag team titles.
Could you imagine though if you got them back, through the NXT thing to go for a title at Mania?
No, man, don't, man. I've already I don't know if I could take a Hardy. Well, they already
you saw it originally. You saw it at Mania 33, yeah. Exactly. So how great would that be? Live it all over again. You got the new Hardy merch.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
Yeah, but it won't be the same because I was there live when that happened.
Exactly,
but
that
was totally unexpected, by the way.
That was amazing. They outsold everybody by the way they kept kayfabe going alive, and they're at their own ROH party.
That whole setup at that WrestleMania, because I was sitting there with my friend and my brother at the time. And we were all sitting there going, why is the New Day up on the stage? And why are they dressed like they're going to wrestle? And my friend's like, they're probably going to put themselves in the match. And that's that's what we were all thinking. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay, we know it's going to be you. So just go ahead and announce it. Next thing you know, the Hardy music hit. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was a hell of a surprise. I hope they give us something like that at this Mania. So I'm trying to see.
That place was loud. I mean, that place was loud. It was an outdoor stadium. So
you guys could have blown the roof off if you had one.
It would have been crazy.
It would have been nuts, but it was still an amazing ovation. Speaking of amazing, we're talking about the year that Drew had, both 24 and 25 so far. Just so much as his mic work, his ring work, all of it is just top level. And him and Priest, I think, is going to be a damn good match. But I see Priest losing here. I think Drew's going to win.
Probably. I'd say Drew's probably going to win.
Another one that's a pretty equal foregone conclusion. Sami Zayn is currently hurt. He's got nerve issues, as they said.
Out of nowhere.
That's right. So we're going to get Randy Orton taking on Kevin Owens. There was talk about Owens leaving years and years ago, and you look at all that he's gotten to do since the Mount Rushmore AEW offers had been given. He's main evented with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's main evented with his friend in a tag match with Sami Zayn. He's been involved in some of the biggest matches and angles as years gone by. Yep. It's just, you look at the run that he's had since and how much he's done on the top.
He's the one that started. He's the one that attacked Cody after Bad Blood.
Yes, exactly. I mean, there's so many things that we've gotten.
Which
now
I didn't get to see, by the way, because I was actually on my way back from the arena during all that when that attack happened. So
they did it for the fans to film, which was great.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there like we're on our way back from the show that night, and I'm like on my phone, and all I see on Twitter is Owens attacking Cody. I was like, huh? I was like, what?
It was a mind fuck for sure. Yeah, I mean, Coot's right too. You and your brother could jump into the tag team title bout for the ladder match at this point. They're getting everybody involved on SmackDown. I didn't pick a winner for that, but if anything, I think the Street Profits need a big Mania win. That'd be great.
I was going to say, the Street Profits need. Yeah, you gotta. I like to see them win too.
I was there at TakeOver when they won the tag titles in that ladder match, and the reaction was sublime. It was incredible, the feel in the room, and I would love to see that recreated because they've busted their ass. And a lot of time with the titles that they had was in the COVID area where they had no fans and had to dance around people with masks. So we know how well that got over.
The Owens attacking Cody at the bus, I was like going, what the heck is this? So what the heck does this mean?
And I think Owens, he loses that match. Orton's going to get the punt finally. He's
Oh
going to
yeah,
try and get it for weeks.
Orton's gonna
winning.
get that punt in.
And like we said before, if not anybody, I think they're leaning more towards Logan being involved with AJ Styles. It seems like that's the match to have there. I would have rather have seen AJ, like you said, in the IC thing, but it seems like we're getting Logan and AJ. He's only got a couple years left till he retires, so I don't know if he'll win. I think I could see AJ putting Logan over here because Logan's gonna be eventually going back for the title. So.
Well, I tell you one thing, AJ's already said that he's going to retire. He's going to wrestle till I think he doesn't want to wrestle when he's 50. So.
Exactly. While we're continuing on the SmackDown side of things, we got Chelsea Green holding the U.S. title. She was pinned the other day by Sol Ruca, but if they're going to be involved in the Stand and Deliver Oi 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 tag title scenario, I think that we get the turn finally. Do we get Piper Niven finally done, getting just destroyed by Chelsea, and she takes her on for the Women's United States Championship?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. I don't know because there's so many things. Because I've seen things on the internet about Zelina Vega and Chelsea Green. I was like, yeah, you could do that. I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, when we go through it all, who do we have on the SmackDown side of things? Alexa's busy. We got B-Fab. Bianca's busy. Candice LeRae. I don't necessarily see her in Chelsea. I don't
see Candice. Definitely don't see Nia.
Jade, Katata, as I call them, but no, Katana Chance and Caden Carter, Katata. I don't see them doing anything.
I don't know. It might be Selena. I don't know.
Michin, no, she already had her chance. Naomi's got her broken neck. Nikki Cross will be scary, and I think and Tiffany's got it. Yeah, Zelina. It could be Zelina, which wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't mind it because they could have a good match, but I find more of a draw in Piper there.
But
honestly.
the thing is, Piper, you never know, because when she won that title, when she won that belt, Piper was not looking at her; she was looking at that title. I know, and I was like, yeah, I see this in the future.
I feel like that's been laid out long enough. I also wonder, because LA Knight is a number one contender too, we've got that kind of thing brewing with Nakamura, so it feels like we're kind of telling the same story in both ways here. So I think
I have a feeling that the Nakamura Knight match is going to happen before Mania, and then they're going to do some big multi-match for that title too.
Really? See, you think that we're going to get two multi-man matches both for the mid-cards? I'm not sure we're going to get one for both. I could see them holding off that match. They might do it before. They could and give us LA Knight as a champ, and then who do we get to challenge even if they do it for a multi-man?
Well, see, the thing is, right now, Nakamura had to go. He had a death in his family, so he had to go to Japan.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't have that LA Knight Nakamura match on SmackDown this past week. So.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like with that delay, we don't know when he'll be back. Do they hold it off till Mania? Do they wait longer? We're not sure. I could see them doing it before, but regardless, I think LA Knight winning at Mania would be a bigger pop.
Before they did this tournament thing, I was jotting down ideas. I was like, well, let's see who else tried to go for the U.S. title. Like we had The Miz, we had Andrade, you had Carmelo, you had Jimmy Uso. It's like.
You even had Jacob Fatu brawling with LA Knight, obviously.
Braun Strowman, Jacob Fatu. It's like,
that's why I said you're not wrong about the multi-man thing. I just have a hard time because they're doing it, for the both mid-card titles. But they could. They've done it before, so they absolutely could. So
you never know what they're cooking up.
Exactly, because if they don't see, my thought actually is a little bit different. So. I'll get into that in a minute. See, I think we're going to get, if we don't get LA Knight and Nakamura, then we're going to get LA Knight and insert another one of those names we said there. One of the heels, I'm sure. But I maybe an Andrade, maybe. I don't see it being Jacob Fatu. I really don't.
No. Jacob's going to have his hands full with Solo. Okay,
yeah, that's another match.
Jacob is going to happen. So,
and I think Jacob wins that, and Solo gets buried.
And Jacob's going to beat Solo. So, yes. And I'll be
we both nailed that one.
Bye, Solo.
I think we're going to have a big, meaty men slapping meat, beating meat, snap into a Slim Jim meat, multi-brand battle royal, like the Andre the Giant. But I think it's going to be both brands, and I think it's going to be essentially the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, but just both brands and be a little bit bigger. So Braun, Otis, Rowan, Obafemi can come in from NXT.
Oh,
Maybe
Lord.
bring in Moose. Bring in some big
Oh,
names.
yeah. Bring in the big Moose Man.
And hell, like you said, anybody that's not doing stuff, Andrade
Big old
or
Moose. Yeah, everybody's like, somebody's asking me the other day about Moose. I was like, Moose is a big guy. Moose is a big boy.
he is exactly. Who else? R-Truth maybe. Like you said, the
Poor
Miz.
R-Truth. I hope somebody checked on him after seeing a heel turn.
He kept saying online, he couldn't believe it, and then he found out it was all AI, so he's okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking when that's going to be the big meaty men slapping meat match is going to be like the Andre.
I don't know. This
Or,
mania is going to be. I'm just like I don't know. I don't know who's going to go where. I'm
yeah.
just like, I
So
don't know.
you're thinking U.S. title multi. I'm thinking singles. I'm just going to stay with LA Knight and Nakamura. Then we both got Fatu and Solo. I said my multi-man is either the Andrade Andre, involving Andrade, Braun, Otis, Rowan, Femi, all those people. I'm trying to see.
It's kind of funny that Moose used to play professional football, so
Yeah, absolutely. We brought up basically the match that we didn't really nail down. I feel would be CM Punk. He's one. I thought we'd get the fatal 4-way for the women, so that's where Jade goes. Maybe we don't see anything with Naomi at this point, but I think
the whole thing is the thing is with Punk. Oh my goodness, you could have Punk versus Seth versus Roman. You could do. There's so many things. I'm just like, and then you got Punk's favor, whatever the heck that is.
Yeah.
No clue.
Because you could do Punk taking on The Rock, or like you said, Roman and Punk taking on a form of a tag match, but that's more of like a Cody thing. But again, everybody fits in there somehow because Punk has bad blood with all of them. Cena essentially screwed him because of Seth and the heel turn, and he was supposed to have the main event, and we got this cage match coming up. If they're going to that rumored triple threat, it's messy because we just don't know at this point. And they said there's a lot more surprises and changes and things. There's going to be shakeups. And this is what I missed when we would get title changes on a Raw, on a SmackDown. This is what I was asking for. I was tired of waiting 6 months for a PLE, and then finally the long reign champion loses, and then we do it rinse and repeat. We're getting title changes. We're getting unexpected victories, and it's not just little things.
I was watching Raw, and I was like, well, of course, I was watching Raw, and the power went out yesterday, and I was like, now I got to watch it again. Now I got to go back and went back and watched it. I was like, yeah. I was like, EO, yeah, that's the way it should have been.
It's absolutely, and Io should have had that title to begin with, or at least been the challenger. I felt, and Bianca being there was just it didn't work for me personally, but I know what they're going for.
Yeah,
and it's
I was
just
kind of like when Bianca. I was like when I was watching that match. I was like, Bianca, do not get involved. Yeah. Bianca, leave the match alone.
So we go through all of our champions. We took care of Cody Gunther. We took care of Io, Tiffy, Breaker, Nakamura, Lyra. We talked about Chelsea. I don't know if they'll do anything with the speed title for Candice and Dragon Lee. Maybe they will on like a pre-show type thing or kickoff.
I don't know.
I doubt it though. We talked about the War Raiders and DIY.
We don't. The thing is they don't need to do matches on the pre-show. I mean, the pre-show is. I don't even watch the pre-show because all I do is talk about everything that happens. I already know what happened. So
Carmelo could be involved. That's absolutely right, Trek. He could do that. I mean, they could do Seth versus Punk versus Roman, and then Heyman turns on Roman to align with Punk and The Rock night one. I mean, Ryan, you might be onto something. There's so many possibilities, and that's the thing.
Things that can go.
It all makes sense.
You do with this whole favor, whatever this favor is. I don't, who knows?
People are like, they don't understand Cena's turn, but I think it's pretty evidently obvious. He already said why. Because he wants what he wants. He wants that record-breaking title win. He doesn't want anyone or anything getting in the way of that, and he'll do whatever it takes because that, as Vince has always brainwashed his mind, do what's best for business. Exactly. And what's best for business is him being champion, walking out of WrestleMania holding that belt.
He made that abundantly clear after the Rumble. I mean, it was like as soon as he came out to that press conference and started talking about best for business, I'm sitting there thinking, huh? Excuse me?
I mean, think about how many manias where we thought, oh, this is going to be the person that topples Roman, and it never happened.
Yep.
Years and years and years, you know? Think about when Brock was on top and we saw matches. We're like, oh, somebody's finally, and no one could topple him then either. Like, it was the whole thing. So getting out of that where we have kind of these unexpected moments and titles can change and things can happen and we have to see the receipt of the century, of course, with Travis Scott getting his ass whooped for injuring Cody allegedly.
Oh,
Right.
When the funny thing is when I was watching it with my friends over here, and I saw that, I was like going, yeah, that one of my friends like, he literally slapped him. I said, yeah, where you shouldn't have slapped him too.
Exactly. So not only did he hit him right in the damn ear, of course, he did it in such a way, as we mentioned before, he didn't cup his hand. Usually you want to go for, when you go with the slap, you get the lower jaw, so you get the strike, and the face moves and all that. But the person turns with it. You get the whole, there's a point to it. There's a way to handle it. And unfortunately, that when we get the slap across the face, you know where it's coming from, you know how to handle it, and that's not what we got there, unfortunately.
Yeah, when I saw
seeing
that,
this right here,
I was like, it looks like that kind of hurt.
You heard it. And first he's supposed to be holding Cody's arms, but then he only grabs the one arm and he's like retching his arm, and then he keeps pulling him up. So then eventually John looks like he's not like pissed but frustrated, and he pushes Cody's head down gently to be like, no, his head's got to be down. And then he smacks him and spits on him, and apparently he busted or ruptured his eardrum. I mean, it's just left him with a black eye.
When he was walking out after the match was over, I forgot whose video I saw. It was one of the other wrestling YouTube guys that I watched. They were videoing what happened after the match was over. And Cody was walking out of the ring, you could already see the black eye. He's already getting the black eye on
Yeah, it was coming, so we'll see it. And a ruptured eardrum is brutal. Like I said, that vertigo and all the shit that comes with that.
Yeah,
not
and
fun. Not what you want to be dealing with.
I was like, here we go, Cody. It's time to get that receipt.
Absolutely. So I'm excited. This card just keeps growing and changing and evolving, and I'm looking forward to both nights. Absolutely. It's not a card around one match. It's that hasn't been the point or showcasing of Mania for a while now, and especially when they first went to 2 nights, it was like, all right, this is kind of risky, let's see how it goes. And we had the whole COVID issue, and then 37 wasn't exactly stellar, but we had some great moments, and then it just started to catch.
I'm kind of glad they're doing 2 nights, because as somebody who went to a WrestleMania where it was all on one night, oh God, that's a long day.
That's the thing. It's super long. It's draining. And to do it a little bit shorter, have both nights. Now you give a chance to showcase everyone, because, and I'm fine with not everyone being on the card. That's why I liked recently with Triple H following this, 5-match get in, get out format. He really, he ingrained fans with NXT on how you should be watching. You're going to watch for 3 hours. We're going to have 5 matches, and you're going to not turn it off until we fade to black. And he made you do that, because when they used to put up the Chiron, and then you had the Tommaso Ciampa turn, and people would be like, oh, I missed it because I already shut it off. He taught you to not tune out until it's officially over. He made us stay from start to finish.
When Punk came back at Survivor Series, they put the logo up there, and I'm like, nah, it ain't over. Nah.
We're not done yet. Exactly. We knew. And we've, they've gotten us before with certain things, and who else taught fans to do that? Marvel. You want to stay after the movie's over to see the after credits scene. It's not an uncommon practice to train your fans' minds for things.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
That's exactly what we got here.
Because when I went down to Orlando to, what was it, Mania 33? Yeah, 33, yeah. That was a long day.
And that was a very big card and a huge main event with The Undertaker and Roman. That match and whole thing took like 45 minutes between entrances, the match itself, everything that happened afterwards.
The good thing is during the Undertaker and Roman match, the Undertaker didn't start at the very top of the ramp. He came up in the middle of the ramp, so he only had halfway to walk down. So
And then they lowered him back down. You know, they knew he
Yeah.
wasn't going to walk the
But
whole
yeah,
way.
that whole day was because oh my gosh, that was a long day. I'll never
Yeah.
forget that day.
I just like that we're being rewarded, and like Ryan just said in the chat, you're being rewarded for paying attention to details. You know, the story
Exactly.
matters, and everybody makes sense. There's things that happen, and you can correlate all these different scenarios in your mind, different outcomes, different possibilities, and none of them are really that far fetched.
Yeah,
Right
it's all
now,
and all the little all the things I picked up on. I was like, bad blood. Who'd ever thought bad blood would be the beginning of this whole John Cena thing?
if I told you when you went to Bad Blood that we possibly, could see John Cena and The Rock teaming together as heels against Cody and Punk, or Cody and Roman, or Punk and Roman, that kind of thing, you would have been like, "Oh, you're insane,"
Yeah,
But
exactly. I mean, it's like Cody. Let's see, the Owens Cody thing started at Bad Blood. The Cena thing started at Bad Blood. I'm like,
yeah, the reason this was such an effective turn for so many reasons, obviously, but one of the main is because John's character for so long has been so against that doing as the fans ask, that turning heel. We've seen every other person. Eventually, they turned heel.
mhm.
Eventually they changed their. He didn't. He was
No, he
infallible.
didn't.
Truly, he was inevitable. You were going to face John Cena. He's been screwed, and he didn't turn, and he's been tempted, and he didn't embrace the hate, and all the times they could have done it where it would have made more sense. Now he's doing his retirement year, his simple goodbye tour, where he just has to show up to each city, throw his hat, and wave, and he's making millions of dollars. And
Right?
instead, he's taking chances. He's making risks here, and the reason that we're having fans come back and say, "Oh my God, Cena turned heel. I want to know what happened. I want to know what's been going on," because no one ever truly believed it. People predicted it all over. Oh, Cena will join The Rock. Cena will turn heel. But to
Yep.
truly believe it would happen is one of those you can't believe it till you see it. And now that
Mhm.
we saw it, we can see him.
Yeah, I got a friend. Yeah, it's like I got a friend who lives in the UK who he doesn't really watch a lot of it, but he's watched now that he can watch it on Netflix, he can watch the Rumble and all that stuff. So he watched the Chamber the other night, and he was like, "I didn't see Cena heel turn coming." I was like, "Yeah, nobody did."
Yeah, nobody truly believed it in their heart of hearts, I feel like. If you did, then great on you. But
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
mean,
was like, and I was sitting there with my friends during all that when that was all going down. I was sitting there thinking, and one of my friends was like, "Cena just turned heel." I'm like, "Yeah, that's just what happened. Uh huh. Yes."
and they've done things similar in AEW where you need to have that big moment, and instead it's theological, and then they ignore previous storylines, or they
Well,
just stop with certain things. And
speaking
as
of
for
what,
this, there's a
speaking of
payoff for it.
AEW, while we're on that topic, they apparently they have struck some kind of deal with Amazon Prime now. So
Ooh, we'll see what happens there. But I mean, what a
apparently you can watch the Revolution pay per view on Amazon Prime Video,
interesting. So
but you got to pay for it.
yeah, you still gotta buy it if you don't have the other subscriptions,
No,
to
no, no.
Bleacher.
Even if you have a subscription
No, I'm saying
even
to
if you're an
Bleacher
Amazon
Report or
Prime
anywhere
member, you got
else.
to pay for it.
Yeah, you have to pay regardless. It's pay per view.
Yeah,
But if you have subscriptions to, what is it, Bleacher Report or all that, isn't there like a pay per view subscription for AEW now? Or no, with
probably.
Max, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, it's on
Max.
Max. You can watch it on Max,
That's what
but
it
I
is.
mean, me personally, I'll watch it on my TV. So
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like you're asking people to spend top dollar to tune in for these things, is where WWE is doing it both on Netflix or Peacock, and people
exactly.
find ways to watch it. Peacock's very inexpensive, as where these pay-per-views are $50. If you needed to pay for a monthly membership, you can get a trial, I believe, and then if not,
You
Tubi's
know,
free, Netflix is
I was out.
inexpensive.
The funny story. I was out of town at a convention. Was it during? I guess it was last year. It was last year. It was last year, and we were in Atlanta, and one of my persons in the hotel room wanted to watch the AEW pay per view. I said, "Of course, we're in a hotel room. You can't really call a cable company and order it, you know." So I was
Yeah,
like, so I got on,
exactly.
was it Thriller or whatever it was, and I got it that way. So I pretty much Chromecast it from my laptop to the TV in the hotel room and watched it that way.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do. And it's like, hey, but think of all the extra steps you had to took versus just, at least now, signing into Max. But before
Well,
with Peacock or anything, and that's the problem. They don't make it easy, and there's these barriers to entry, and not having the same relatable characters. You look at what's supposed to be the main feud. People like Cope, because of what he did as Edge. I don't think there's anything he's done in AEW that's really made the fans love him again. It's just he's riding off of everything he's done before, which isn't the worst thing, but
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
like Punk
I'm done.
came in, he reinvented himself. You know what I mean? But
I'm sick of
Edge
the Death
isn't.
Riders. They can all go away. They just need to do something with that.
That's the
Just get rid of it.
problem. They haven't done anything with it. They haven't
Exactly.
evolved or developed or further moved the storyline at
The
all.
only thing that they've done so far is Cope or I can't call him Cope. I hate that name.
Right?
Edge. The only thing he's done is he's taken out Claudia, he's taken out Pac. He's probably going to take out Wheeler.
Yeah, because he's got a match with
tonight.
He's got a match with Wheeler Yuta, so obviously he'll take him out. Jay White's going to be keeping guard. They had Willow take out Marina.
Willow took out Marina, crazy woman, crazy girl. So
and that's the thing. It just they never said why Moxley's doing what he is. We never got to understand what his motivations are for keeping the belts away.
Do we even know
what's in it?
Do we even? The thing is, what I want to know is the title actually in the briefcase?
Yeah, because they're wording it in a way where you're not going to win. It's not a title match. It's for whatever's in the briefcase. So is there a swerve? There's a lot of things at play, but it's just not that interesting. It's just not that good.
I'm kind of like going, is there a title in the briefcase? What's in the briefcase? It's like Chad Gable. What's in the box? Well, what's in the briefcase?
But see, I'm excited to see what Chad does. As we're with AEW, I'm like a curious admirer. Like, I don't have to even catch it live.
I actually want to know what's in the box, but I'm kind of like, okay, briefcase. I don't know.
If I didn't find out the end of that, yeah, exactly, it wouldn't ruin my day. But I want to know what happens with Chad. This story each week, it evolved, it developed. There's been steps.
Does Malachi Black get involved? Does he show?
He said he was looking for the dark arts of lucha. That is Malachi's school. The whole thing is crazy. We know that Phoenix is coming in at some point. We know Malachi's coming back. Apparently, Rusev is alleged to be returning.
Oh boy.
Ricky, Saints is doing great on NXT. I really loved his opening match. Roadblock looks incredible.
Hardy Boys on NXT last night. Oh my god!
I know. I can't wait. So next week we've got the Hardys taking on obviously Fraxium for the TNA tag titles.
The best part of that Hardy thing last night was Matt and Jeff got their facing the entranceway, the entryway, and all I hear is Matt going, I knew you'd come. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and such a great moment. Obviously, I'm excited because Roadblock is just going to be a ton of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Roadblock's going to be crazy, and Raw next week is going to be crazy. So
it's going to be. I like I said, Roadblock is going to be a ton of fun. So we got the NXT. Obviously, match there we've got for the tag team titles from TNA. So Fraxium taking on Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Versus the Hardys. So who's going to win? Match. I don't know.
Then we have Javon Evans and Ethan Page in a street fight, a New York City street fight. Oh. That's going to be for blood because Javon's been destroyed twice now by Ethan. Obafemi versus Moose for the NXT title only, no longer for the X Division title. So interesting. Yeah. And then we have I think it's because we already have a unification match. So we have Julia taking on Stephanie Vacour, title for title. So the NXT Women's Champion versus the NXT Women's North American Champion, title for title match. Then we also have Jordan Grace taking on Roxanne Perez. That'll be a banger. And then The Undertaker, Mickie James, Booker T, Bubba Ray Dudley, all from LFG, Legends and Future Greats, will be appearing as well.
Show. That show is so good to watch.
It's been a ton of fun, so I'm excited for that night. We will be covering it live on the channel, of course. NXT Roadblock. Don't want to miss it.
I'll be watching it because Monday. We'll see. Monday. Let's see. Monday's Raw.
Monday's Raw.
I'm thinking like, ooh, do I stream or watch Raw? Gee, I don't know. That's a hard decision.
Right. So far, they're doing well. They're getting about 150,000 average viewers. So that's
the thing is, Raw
for LFG.
Streaming. What's more important? That's like Raw. You're really tempting me here to not stream here. Okay.
Yeah, Raw has been pretty must see. There's been a lot going on that you need to catch in the moment, and it feels important.
Exactly, and it's like the good thing is the next Raw is they're going to be over in Europe, so it'll be in the middle of the day. So
exactly. So hey. I'm excited to see when they stream those live as happening.
Cena's going to show up. Cena's showing up on that one.
Exactly. So we got a lot of big things to look forward to. Again, like I said, we'll be live tonight with the Tubi premiere of WWE Evolve. We'll be live Saturday for
Well,
the
you also got
AEW
Dynamite in
Revolution
case you
review.
guys want to watch that, but I don't know who watches Dynamite anymore. So
I'm not so sure. And that's their go home for Revolution, too. But we'll be covering Revolution this weekend. It'll likely be a drinking stream, have some fun.
I'll
Then
be
next
watching
week,
Revolution. I won't be doing any of the drinking, but I'll
right?
watch it.
Thursday, we got preview and predictions for everything Roadblock and going forward with Spaz. I'll have that on his channel. You can check that out in the description box down below. Next week, we'll be live for Roadblock and so much more. A lot coming up. Liz, tell them where they can find you.
Oh, you can all find me on Twitch at DJ Anime 2016. I'll be streaming it tonight, actually, about the same time as Dynamite. So, so feel free to come check it out.
You can see her page right there. Make sure you go
Yeah,
ahead
there
and
you
give
go.
her a follow. I've been
You can give me a
subscribed for a
follow.
while now. She
Give me
plays
a follow.
absolutely. She
We're
plays a various amount of games and does a great job really interacting with her community.
We're almost wrapping up the game I'm playing now. We're in the final dungeon, which could mean anything. It could be, well, is it the final dungeon? I don't know. So,
Could be. You never know for sure. So
no, with this type of game, it's probably saying, "Hey, this is the final." Well, no, it's not the final dungeon. The next part is the final dungeon.
you'll get there. You know, that's the thing. You're never quite done. But
Oh, no,
people can go ahead
never.
and follow you over there on Twitch, or they can check you out on Twitter for all the latest information as well.
You can follow me on Twitter there. I'm on there too. I'm on all those social media things, TikTok, all that, you know.
You can find all of her links in the description box down below, as well as the link to the State of Wrestling that Spaz and I do each week. And then Spaz and I, as I said, will be live later on tonight. So make sure you hit the like button, hit the bell, make sure you subscribe. Thank you, Liz, for joining me. It's been great having you. We'll have you again before Mania, but
rest of the day.
Absolutely, but we'll have you back obviously before Mania is on. But we'll have you back to
yeah,
review
sure.
our Mania predictions afterwards. So guys, make sure you go ahead and book that. We'll see how right and wrong we were with this crazy list that we got. But again, thank you all.
Mania is going to be crazy. Mania is crazy. I'm thinking to myself, Mania is right around the corner, and technically it's not because it's like in the middle of April now.
To the sign. You know, I can't wait. Absolutely, we're almost there. So just I think 45 days,
46 days, 45 days,
something like that. We're close. We're in the month and a half home stretch. So.
Yeah,
again, as always, everybody, I've been Jake. Countdown ended. Liz, thank you again. Again, you can find her info down below. And as always, everybody, we'll see you tonight. Stay sexy.
Bye, guys.